Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this edition of Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast. We appreciate you hanging out with us here this evening. So good to see everybody. This has been a heck of a week, but to say the least. But it was good to see some Derby action this weekend. We're going to be able to dive into that a little bit further. I was able to dig up the results on that. So Todd Siopa celebrating a win, Nick King celebrating a win.
Did you see him building, I think it was Nick's car?
No.
There was a Facebook Live, and I assume it was Nick's car. They would, I think, maybe it wasn't, but it was that group. It was one of Nick's live streams. They must have bought a car down there, and they got a group of guys and stripped it, and then they tipped it up on the side and cut the exhaust and stuff off it. So I don't know if that's the one or not that he won with, but it was pretty cool to see.
That is very cool. That sounds very Nick too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very cool. I got to make sure that this is going to save. I had a heck of a time with doing this last week, and it didn't do it again.
Did you consider hitting it with a hammer?
What's that?
Did you consider hitting it with a hammer?
No, I just want to tell you, for all the times that you've asked me that, there's only been like once. That's even remotely close to have been a potential reality.
That's why you do what you do and I do what I do.
Yes, yes, we know our roles. Oh, man. I forgot to set this up, but hopefully it saves this time. Good deal. Cool.
Chris is doing important computer stuff, and I'm sitting over here watching him.
For some reason, I don't know.
The train's a little early tonight.
I don't know what I've forgotten how to do in terms of the overlays, but the last couple shows, when I set the overlay, it doesn't save in the queue. So when I go to pop it up on the screen, it's something from weeks and weeks ago, and I
like show 12 or something.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that far away, but I do want to. Jason had some stuff that he wanted to that he wanted to hit on, so we're going to have him on. And if I had found the results sooner and been more diligent on it, I would have reached out to Todd and those guys too. I didn't do it and missed the boat there, so I apologize there. I'm sure that
they're probably in Florida out on the ocean or something today.
The other thing is, like, I thought that the odds of catching them when they were not going to be out enjoying the sun and the weather was probably pretty low. So all the same, congratulations out to the baseball team too. Nick's crew won that as well, so it was a pretty good weekend for them out there. We were talking a little bit about everything that was happening here as we kick off episode number 348, clicking away towards episode number 350. So some of you were following along on Facebook as things progressed last week and shared a bit of an update last Monday, and things went from, I don't know if I want to say that they went from bad to worse, but they definitely got a little bit more bleak, and I appreciate everybody reaching out. So what happened on Sunday was the fascia board, which we didn't replace when we had the siding and soffits and gutters put on our house over the summer. We were on a wait list for a year and a half. We really wanted to get this thing done, and we wanted to get it done. It wasn't in the estimate. It wasn't anything that didn't appear that we needed to worry about. Well, that fell off the west side of the house, which opened up the attic and set in motion a couple of other dominoes. And at that point, Monday morning, I called the contractor that did the work, and he dropped everything he was doing, came over, looked at it, said, do this, this, and this. It's going to probably need these things as well. Get a hold of your homeowner's insurance. So at that point, I called Wayne Co-op out of Lyons, drop him a note. And they said they would be out Friday. This is Monday. And it's March, and I know that the weather was supposed to be fairly decent, but the whole fact that the attic's open to atmosphere and stuff, I really didn't want to run that risk. They were very insistent, though, that they had pictures of everything. And I took some pictures from the ground, and the contractor was coming back after he completed a roofing job out of town and was going to put up a new fascia board at that point. And it was kind of weighing in the back of my mind, and things were, we had a half day for parent-teacher conferences. We didn't have any conferences scheduled that Tuesday. I figured, you know what, if ever a good time, today's the day. I shot home to take pictures. I was going to get up on the roof. I was going to take those pictures and be done with it. I got up there, and Andy had already been there, boarded everything up, so I couldn't take those pictures. And while I was up there, I figured if I'm up on the roof, we'll make it worth it. I knew that there was another spot that had shown a little bit of water where an old wood stove had been, and I went over to check that. In terms of it being spongy or not, it was fine, but the masonry block that the chimney was constructed of had gotten some water and some snow in there. The frost action had broken it, so the chimney was falling apart. You could physically take it apart. So I knocked that down with a hammer. Of course, the patch that I got didn't fit. The steel roof was over the top of existing shingles with some flashing underneath it that had been roof rubbered in place, so the patch didn't fit. So thankfully, I had a coil stock roll in the basement that was dedicated to making RC car bodies. I was able to fashion a very crude patch and get that, so that's still leaking. Brings us down the line to Friday when we finally did meet with the insurance people, and they said, the wind doesn't seem likely to have caused this. We need to see an estimate, which I'm still waiting for final word on that. But they spent a lot of time in our conversation feeling like, to me, pointing out issues with having a steel roof and snow load cracking rafter tails and snow melt getting down underneath the flashing on the fascia board, causing rod issues that they couldn't confirm because there's a new board up in its place. And that had me a little bit rattled because we'd already taken out a new loan. We refinanced the house to get the money to put the siding and stuff on. And I don't want to, we can't get another loan, so it got me a little bit nervous, especially the conversation with the contractor saying, get a hold of your homeowners, it's going to be more than your deductible. So that was what led me to putting up the post that I put up saying, hey, it doesn't look good. So I got some stuff that's coming up for sale that people I know have inquired about before, so just giving you the chance. It was not intended to be overly dramatic. It was not intended for attention. Other than the fact that there was some stuff that I wanted to sell. So I apologize for causing all of the confusion, I guess. But I tell you what, it was weird to be on that side of the Derby community. It was very, my heart was very full between Christy King, Butch and James Sisko reaching out. Don Duffy came over to the house to see if he had any spare parts that would be able to help bridge the gap or reduce the costs. Jesse Myers and the Realistic Derby Project and Colin Walker, I'm trying to remember everybody, Cody Koch, all reaching out and asking what happened to Eric Remington. I think we mentioned Christy Germain and Devin and Impact up in Canada, all the stuff that they were doing. And I told everybody the same thing, just slow down and let us go through the process. We do have, my wife's cousin used to be in insurance litigation and stuff like that before he went into another field where he practices law. So he's familiar with, he described it's an industry term, it's the F off, pay what you're supposed to cover letter. So he's familiar with writing all those, so we have that step to take as well. But Bobby Edwards came up from, I'm not even remember where Bobby lives, but he came up and he bought all the RC Derby stuff. So that gave us a nice start on things. And James McLean in Waterloo, he kicked some money in unsolicited, and then he threatened bodily harm if I returned it. and I can't say enough about the steering wheel thing. I had that steering wheel that was a gaming steering wheel that Jesse Myers and all the guys with Realistic Derby Project Lee Sager and all those guys had pulled up the money to buy the steering wheel, and then they said keep it, which was really cool. Which I had it for sale, and I knew there was another kid in town, Ray Jones. I took the steering wheel and gave it to him, because he's asked about it probably 3 or 4 times. I know that he wanted it. I didn't feel like it was a really good karmatic debt to have somebody buy it and then turn around and sell it again. So I took that and gave it to him, and that kid's gotten big. Have you seen him lately?
He's on the football field.
He is a giant. But Ray was in a real bad car accident a while ago, and it made his day, which was cool. So that's where everything is at. I can't say enough thank yous to everybody about that, and everybody that's reaching out and stuff. I don't ever want you to think that I don't appreciate it. Kathy Brewster was sharing posts and stuff from down in Virginia. If ever I have to call in a favor from the Demolition Derby community, I don't want this to be it. Someday I'm going to have a heart attack, or I'm going to have cancer, or for some reason I'll have been driving the car and Brian won't be, and I'm going to have to be put into the ground somehow. So I don't want this to be the favor that I burn out the community on, but it was absolutely awesome, and I can't say thanks enough.
I wanted to touch on that as well. We've talked about it before. Chris is a very humble guy, but I can tell you that every chance he's had to help somebody since we've started Crash Course, in one way or another, he's did what he could to help everybody out. So it was great. I personally would like to thank everybody that reached out and offered help to Chris, and it was a great thing to see. I'm very happy. Happy for the support that was given to Chris.
One of the first messages that I got was Josh. Decker was bugging me for my PayPal, and I wouldn't give it to him. I wouldn't give it to him because let's just slow down and everything will be okay.
Also, something that bothers me, and the thing that I'd sent Chris, it touched on this, is insurance of any form is a scam. Because let's be honest, how long have you and Melissa lived in this house?
15 years, 2006.
So for 15 years, you've paid homeowners insurance on this house.
And we've done other repairs at the house that have been fluky things where we had leaks in the roof and stuff like that.
So for 15 years, you've paid homeowners insurance, and the first time you put in a claim, they pull this kind of BS. It irritates me so much. I mean, I know people, that have had medical, very big medical expenses, really, really well. And the insurance company, it's about the bottom dollar. It's not about helping. And it's one of those things to where, it just sucks. There's nothing you can do about it because you have to have it. But it just sucks that a huge corporation like that can just, control stuff like they do. And, if you hadn't spent that however many thousands of dollars in the last 15 years on that house, and you had that in account for yourself, then it would be a moot point. But it's not, because you have to have the insurance. So it's just one of those things that irritates me. But I'm glad things are looking up, and that's a good thing. So we'll move on from there. And it was 60 and sunny today, so everything's drying out. Things are going good.
Things are drying out. We were at the track on Mondays and Thursdays. We have double PE. We have PE in the morning, and we were out at the track, and we got out of the football field, and the kids got to play lacrosse, and it's the first time some of them have ever handled a lacrosse stick, and no one was safe. There was not a single person that was safe. Jason Sauer is waiting in the wings. I want to make sure that we've got this. Let's see. He can. Hopefully Jason can hear us. I don't have him quite.
I can hear you.
Okay, there we go. All right, good. If you want to turn your camera on, we'll do that too.
Oh, okay. You're going to have to... Jeez.
There we go. There's Jason. we'll get this all squared away here momentarily for everybody. We're running that all the newfangled technology.
Right? We got this green screen and we want to use it.
All right. I don't know if this is the place it's going to work, but we can certainly try.
Can you see me?
I can see you. Yeah. It's hopping and skipping a little bit though. We'll make the best of it. Jason is checking in. Jason has tons of stuff going on. I got filled in on some stuff that you're working on with Bash for Cash today. You've got something that you wanted to drop and debut. We've got the results from down in Florida. I hesitate to even ask this question. What have you been up to?
Well, I've been, having fun. We went to Florida. We smashed the Demolition Derby car, and we're getting ready for an art opening there at the Smith Metal Works Derby Expo.
Right on.
So I've been doing a lot of stuff. Here's a painting I've been working on.
Awesome.
So at the fracking site, it's going to an energy company here locally, and then it goes to Houston to hang in a corporate office.
That's cool.
This is what they had me draw the first time. I don't know if you can see how crazy that is.
Right? That's pretty impressive.
It was a little busy.
The video keeps freezing.
Gotcha.
But, so here's what happened. I needed to buy a car for my wife. So I started looking for cars in Miami. I found a young man who would meet me at the airport at midnight. I had a pocket full of cash. Everybody was nervous for me. And I bought a car. I drove in the middle of the state, and JC Molly's had a van ready for me. So if you don't know who JC Molly's is, he's the Demolition Derby guy of the South. He's Florida, Georgia. He's there. He's been driving derby cars since Long Island before he moved to Florida. And so he cares about Jason on his birthday, and he built me a van to go smash with the rest of the Syopa Racing fellas.
Cool.
That's excellent. So tell us more about how Florida went.
All right. Well, the normal scuttlebutt of doing inspections and stuff. So, some cars were overbuilt, some cars were underbuilt, and the boys from Ohio really did a good job of getting together their cars and putting them together in the parking lot. So there's a lot of parking lot building. So that made it a lot of fun for me, as a novice of sorts. I think that's pretty cool. So JC brought my van. It looks like JC had to change his carburetor. And it ended up, word through the pits had gotten out that everybody was going to just keep adding entry fees, and just the compact cars were going to run with the big cars and compact cars were going to run with the mod cars. There was only 6 of us in the van class. But I have to give a hats off to Nick King for winning the big car class in a little Camry. He went out there, got second or third in the mini car class, took the car right back out there, and did a good job of winning. That's some legendary stuff there in Florida. I have to admit that was really, really awesome.
It was pretty cool to see his name there. Jeff Hoffman came away in the mini car class with the win. Second place was Jeff Ogle, and then the ME527 champion, as the way it was recorded in the post. I'm going to make the safe leap that it was John Shipley coming with third place in that one. And then, as Jason said, in the full-size side of things, the win going to Nick King, Billy Benoit, second place, Joey Needham in third there, and then the mod class, Todd Syopa taking the win over JC Molly and Steve Syopa. And Jason, did they?
They didn't list the vans.
No, I didn't see them. So, did you win that one?
The Tiger King got second. There was a dude in like a 1-ton van out there just putting it down. he was dressed up as the Tiger King. He had a Tiger, big giant Chevy van, and that van come barreling down on the passenger side, and I had nowhere to go but besides just accept it. Just knew you know, when you're in a derby car and you see where you're locked up and someone has got the full track on you, and there's nothing to do but just sit there and take it. You know, I couldn't move forward, couldn't move backward. I was happy that he didn't turn the wheel enough to go out and rip my wheels off, but he hit me straight broadside. And it blew because I left the windshield in, it blew the windshield, blew the dash out, threw the radio right on my lap. It was a pretty intense hit. It was a good birthday hit. I commend the Tiger King on the hit. It was pretty rad. So, but you know, when someone hits you that hard, there's only one thing you can do, right?
Hit him back.
You got to go after him.
Right.
So all the other cars were obsolete for me for the rest of the Derby. My only job was trying to take out a 1-ton van with a Chrysler Caravan. And I put some good licks because that van it was doing giant donuts to the point I thought he was going to tip it over. But I was just like, I just have to throw this thing in reverse and try to catch that big van. And I had a wonderful time smashing a minivan. I'm telling you, if you've ever smashed a minivan, there's something beautiful about it. I don't know what it is. It's got the trunk like it's a clamshell 70s Buick wagon, but, you know, it just doesn't have the front end, you know? So it's interesting to see that much car, you know? I don't know. When you're used to driving a Crown Vic or something, you know, you can kind of see the back bumper from your front seat, you know? But for this, when you're in a van, it almost feels distant. Like it's so far away that you're hitting somebody. I don't know. It's magical. I love it. I love Demolition.
So, Jason, was there any trash talking between Todd and Steve? I mean, if, you know, Todd wins and Steve's third, I would think there'd have to be a little bit of ball busting after the show.
Well, it started, I think, about 3 weeks earlier, who was going to win. And Nick King had decided that he was going to beat both of them, and both of them had decided they were just going to beat Nick King. But Todd came into this event thinking, I need the driveline out of the raffle car so I can get it ready so we can go to the Delaros this July out there in Chino, California with the WGAS Motorsports. He was just going to go out there and have fun, one big run for Big Wayne. And so there wasn't much trash talking from Todd because he really thought he was just going to go out there and smash it. But he hit JC Molly so hard, I wondered if they were ever going to be friends again. I know they beat up on the Plum Crazy a little early because those, you know, they were all together as one does. You know, when you travel that far out of state, you usually end up sticking with the guys that you drove the trailer with. But, you know, Todd was dishing out the hits. He did not discriminate. JC got hit. His brother got hit, and his brother, as Todd said, caught him sleeping. He was out there by the wall sleeping, and I caught him. And, that's how Todd described that hit on Steve. JC's car overheated because he had just run the heat prior, and the thing never had a chance to cool down. And so he went out there already dumping antifreeze right from the get-go. So it was pretty cool. I would say it was really entertaining. What was it, 4 heats altogether, and every heat was entertaining. I hope my van heat was entertaining. We had the least amount of participants. We only had 6. But the mini cars was cool. I liked the pretty paint job. The pretty paint job, I lost to an American flag painted car, but it was really cool. So I'm always excited to see paint jobs at Demolition Derby. Those cars that are painted with all markers. Local tattoo artist brought in a car and had it covered in markers. So everyone was really nice in the pits. I have to say that. Florida people are very friendly, and many people shook my hand and thanked me and thanked the Siopas and everyone else that drove down from Ohio to come and participate in their little, their fair. The fair was beautiful. The agriculture was great. I didn't know I was going to be in the Derby until the day of the Derby. Like, they had surprised me with a van, as a treat. Those guys are nice. They said, "Oh, you do so much for us, Jason. We bought you a van to go smash." So
perfect.
That's pretty cool.
Doesn't get much better than that.
No, I would say not. I would say that. Jason's version is a little bit different than the one that I got. I heard that JC and Steve shut off for Todd just to let him win.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
well, I will tell you this. It was the first time ever in the history of Derby that I saw people come out of the stands and attempt to push a car back onto the track. And you, Steve was hung up on the wall again. I feel like fate decided he was supposed to be there all night.
Oh boy.
And, they come pouring out of the pits. They pushed on the car so hard they shoved the radiator into the fan.
Wow.
That's when everybody stopped pushing on the car. But the fans really thought they could get Steve off the wall and get him back in the action.
That's awesome.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
No, that's a first.
I've never. No. Pretty cool. That's classic, right?
Yeah, definitely.
The closest thing I remember to that was at Waterloo one time when there was a spectator on the green benches on the infield, right there by the turn 4 track entrance, and a guy pulling up had hit one of the bumps and his bumper fell down. And this guy jumped down. I don't know what he thought he was going to do. He grabbed hold of the bottom of the bumper and stood up, kind of lifting it back into place, and as he stood up, he pushed his knees into the fan, and the fan blade hit his leg, and it ripped the kneecap open and left the fan blade. It was like a window, a door.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
No, that
That's true.
was like 91, 92.
Wow.
It was a long time ago.
I don't
But
remember that.
That was crazy because the fan blade stuck like it was supposed to be there. Yeah, think about that.
No, thank you. Derby's dangerous.
Yeah, Derby's dangerous.
Derby is dangerous.
Well, that's. I'm glad everything went so well down there. It was good to hear some of the names from up north that are finding success down there, and above all, that Derby is continuing to build a foothold and starting to gain some traction. Coke Performance is going to be having that the beach, the Derby in Daytona here coming up. So that'll be, well, not coming up. Let's not fast forward too far.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2022.
Slow down a little.
But that is sitting out there too. So that's pretty cool. What are you doing?
I'm fixing this light. I don't like it. This is the first time we've done green screen, and I don't have shades in my art studio to block out the sunlight because these lights are south facing or west facing. The windows are west facing.
Jason's an artist, man. Everything's got to be just right.
Don't worry about the green screen. Like I said, I haven't got
this.
I haven't got the
this. Put Crash Course right here, and I can be the weatherman driving. What's happening?
I would love to chroma key that, but I don't have the know-how to do that offhand, and I couldn't figure it out fast enough to do it. I know how to do it if the camera is here, but I can't do it remotely through. And I know it's possible. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. Most Wanted Fine Arts has some new stuff coming up as well. You were talking about all sorts of different launches and projects that are forthcoming.
Can I talk about my art opening?
Yes, that's. I just set you up for that.
Thank you. You're too cool. All right, so check it out. I made some helmets for the kids, part of the art opening. This is using my new Most Wanted spray paint. And thank you. We have the new T-shirt design. Got the Most Wanted. This is a hoodie and a T-shirt just for the Art Expo. And then this is Anarchy Dane Clark. Just like for the Expo. So then I got this cool camouflage hat.
That was one of them that was in the pictures that we shared online today. And
Then I had first made a jacket because the last one got ripped off at the Iron City National. All right, and we've got baby, what are these, towels for your brand new newborn.
Right.
But here's the best.
Let's see the best.
I got Nike tracksuits for those of you who think you're a coach. So these are authentically inauthentic. I bought them from the bad part of town. where you can buy bootleg stuff. So we got some bootleg tracksuits. I'm pretty excited. We got paintings. I got 5 sculptures of smashed Demolition Derby cars that are going to be at Smith Metal Works. I have all the new coloring books. Have you seen the coloring books online yet?
Let's see.
So I was so worried about turning this thing on, I didn't bring them. They're out in my other art studio.
Gotcha.
So I made 6 coloring books that have realistic drawings of Demolition Derby cars, and 5 different promoters bought editions of books, and they'll all be at Smith Metal Works giving away editions of books. I'm selling them online for $8 each because I'm invested differently than they are.
So Jason, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, hit me up. I'll tell you about my merchandise all day. I love to answer some questions.
All right, I'm just wondering if there's any chance, like, in that bad part of town where you got them coaching suits, if you get like an 85-inch TV and put some MWFA on the back of it, I can hang it on my wall. We'll call it good. What do you think? Any chance of that happening?
That's probably a good chance. Here's a story. You can rent a stolen car. Or by the day or by the week. No shit.
Oh, goodness.
Did you ever heard of that?
I don't want to hear any more about it.
Yeah, I don't want to have to testify. I don't know nothing.
Oh, don't worry. The feds are already listening to me. They know I know. But yeah, I live in a part of town where you can get things differently. It's not quite Amazon, so.
It's more like
they
Three
didn't have
Rivers.
any of these sport coats. I had to go to Gabriel Brothers and get it myself. So this got 1 run on it. The last sport coat got ripped in half there. And the last sport coat was my father-in-law's. So he had recently passed away, and they were like, do you want any clothes out of this closet before we throw them away? And I'm like, I want the sport coat. Hopefully it gives me good luck at the Iron City Nationals. And it might have protected me. I got hit by a bumper through the door, and it only ripped the coat off. So who knows? That was probably my lucky charm. That helmet could have came all the way into my noggin. Or that bumper, I mean. Maybe it did.
That was a pretty hard-hitting show.
Trying to keep up with everything that's happening here. Got to catch up on some of the stuff in the chat. Jeff Schumann checking in. Toast tuning in. Wayne Loth. All the videos are up on the Sciopa Racing Facebook and the Florida Demo Derby Drivers Facebook. Travis Meehan. Travis and Ashley Austin Meehan put the show on. They had a great time. Russ Argo was happy to see Jason. I remember that name, Russ Argo, from when we were down there last February. Frankie Guy says the 501 parked the 002. Nick King says he had a great time down there. Replying to Travis, Bobby Joe Shipley, they saw a crowd pick a car up off the wall and put it back on the track in Monticello, Kentucky. So that's cool. Yeah. Just trying to keep up with everything. It's
I see Jeffy. Did you see Jeffy's post today, early this morning?
Come back with that, Jason. Come back one more time.
One more second.
He has even more stuff going on than usual, so he is on a pause at the moment. So if he doesn't get back to you right away, he will. But I think he's welding with maybe both his hands and his feet, the way it sounds. So Jeffy's pretty busy.
Things are good when you stop production. Or stop taking orders in order to catch up on production. There you go. That's a good look at that. Glad to hear that Mike Tix is back home and recovering. He had a bit of a health scare up there, and he was in the hospital for a couple days. So glad to hear that he is back home. And then so we got to get some details from Jason on this as well. I was trading some messages today with Tim Clark Jr. and. This is really, really cool. What's happening here? They have started a. Let me make sure I got this right. They started a YouTube channel. So Smash It's going to have their own YouTube channel. It's up now, and they're loading old.
Yes, right.
It's Smash It Demolition Derby on YouTube. You can follow, share, subscribe. Smash It Demolition Derby on YouTube, and they're loading old Bash for Cash events.
That's awesome.
The whole thing. So in the weeks coming up to the next Bash for Cash, like I think 2009 is up there now, and we're going to go incrementally along until we get to 2019 being loaded up on YouTube, going into the 2021 edition of Bash for Cash, which, I mean, you want to go back and live some history. That is a great opportunity. You're going to see some of the wildest stories in Demolition Derby get to be retold, and it's on YouTube. It's not even like it's pay-per-view on demand at this point. So I thought that was really, really cool. And
a lot of GM wagons get dumped.
yeah. Oh, I mean, but that's not all. Chris Furster's run out there is going to be on there. You're going to see Jason Koch have a couple amazing runs.
Daryl Monroe and Ingram battling for 45 minutes at the end of a feature. Neither one of them had a radiator. That was very impressive.
You're going to see some Highland wagons.
Oh,
in
yeah.
That.
Toby and Randy.
Yeah. So it's
of course the bronze.
They opened the Mad Dog.
Siopas.
Yeah.
I think that was 2018 he won the Mad Dog.
Yep. When they took the Imperials out.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, but he Tim Jr. mentioned that you've got some projects planned with one of the wire class cars, with one of the raffle cars.
All right. Yeah, we're at the beginning phases of it.
Is this hang on, before I put you in a corner, is this something that was ready to be public or not?
Well, I mean, I always say yes, so
Okay.
we deal with it after that.
Okay, well, I mean, don't put yourself in a bad spot. I was told to ask about it.
Here's the deal: is Track Shot is supposed to be in Nebraska with Steinbeck.
Right.
Bash for Cash in Ohio, and I want to be at both.
Right.
I mean, but I'm feeling if we can do it right, he's going to bring the car to the Smith Metal Works Derby Expo, and I can start painting on it Friday, hopefully finishing it up Saturday, and then it'll be prepared and painted no matter how the world plays out. The goal is, can we paint Frank and Big Wayne? You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. So, but what did he tell you?
He told me to ask about the wire car. He didn't give me any details on it, and just told me to ask you, or he mentioned that you were doing something cool.
Yeah, I mean that's what we had discussed, and that's what we had left off at that moment. I went to Florida and I haven't checked my messages for like 3 days. But before I left for Florida, that was the plan: was either Smith Metal Works or I would just come out to their shop before Bash for Cash, because I have a few cars to paint in Ohio already. So I was trying to organize a weekend day, 3 days, where I can just come out and paint cars that need to be painted, and that way they're ready for the track, and I can give them a little more attention than I can than at the track. So my goal is this season is try to figure out how to paint portraits, and I'm using derby cars just like you guys did before. I want like we brought in that artist Camo, and he spray painted Big Wayne's portrait on the convertible that Steve has at his shop. That was very purposeful by me. One, he's much better than me, and I wanted to learn. And now, with this new season of Demolition Derby cars, I want to learn how to do like black and gray portraits with spray paint on derby cars.
Sure.
I want to try to elevate my craft and get good at something that I've been very scared of attempting because I'm terrible at it. So I want to practice. So the best way to practice is lots of derby cars. And so this season, that's my goal. Not just portraits of people, but I want to do, dogs, cats, horses, whatever. I'm going to try to spray paint animals as well. So maybe people want spray painted portrait on their derby car. This is a dream I had back when I used to airbrush. I lived in Texas, and I really wanted to get good at airbrushing Jesus, because there's a lot of airbrushed Jesus on tailgates in Texas. And I always thought, man, that'd be cool. I could airbrush Jesus on a tailgate. And I never got real good at it, and then I kind of faded from the airbrush and went to the spray can. And so it's been nagging at me as an artist that, I want to get good. I want to elevate my craft. And so that's the goal for this season. And I have some cool new designs that you guys haven't seen yet. So I'm trying to freshen up my palette and not give you the same old designs. I'm trying to give you some new stuff for this season. So I've got a lot of cars committed. They're being spray painted already. This week I go spray paint a circle track car, the ones that race on dirt. What are those called?
Dirt cars.
Dirt car. Right? I don't know. That late model, is that what they're called?
Late model could be a modified. Could be.
It looks like a wedge.
Yes, late model.
Late model,
most likely. Does it have fenders or are the front wheels open?
Well, they only showed me the car in pieces.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So
We'll assume it's a late model.
The front hood wasn't on the car when they showed me the car. They only showed me from the firewall back, and it was the wedge in the car.
Right
So-
on.
Probably late one. Jason, that you mentioned that you want to keep your stuff fresh, and that's one thing. I mean, we've seen you paint for halfway across the country, up and down the coast, and what always impresses me is that your stuff never looks the same on two cars. Like
Never.
it's always a different design. And like I remember talking about that subject with you at Blizzard Bash, one of the first years you painted the walls out there, and it just impresses me how like the artistic mind works. And like, I mean, like I said, I won't mention names, but there's a business in the area that does some graphics, and like he has like 4 or 5 different graphic designs, and all he does is change his color in them, and that just moves them from car to car. But I mean, yours is actually, yours is paint, and it's, I mean, like I said, they don't look alike, and it's very impressive to me. It's an incredible talent. So, I haven't told you lately, but it's awesome what you do. And I just see your derby stuff. I mean, obviously I've never been to any of the shows or anything, but I mean, your derby stuff is just, it's amazing.
Well, those are very kind words. I really care about the return on investment. I really care that if you get a piece from me, I really care that you're getting something that has value. I want you to feel there's value in the efforts that I'm doing for Demolition Derby. Before I met you guys, I've been traveling the country with a car on a trailer, going from museum to museum, just trying to sell Demolition Derby at the highest of levels, at the ivory tower of levels. And I figure it's because I never painted Cousin Dane's car. Once we painted Cousin Dane's car and the sale of those cars, it changed the trajectory of my whole life. I have all new friends now. I have brothers in this Demolition Derby world that treat me in a way that I've never been treated. And I mean, and I was in the Army, and you get those moments in the Army too, but it's beautiful. And the fact you guys let me do it, I just love it. I love watching spray painted cars get smashed. It's just a beautiful thing. It's just so great.
Are you going to be painting cars at No Mercy at Dead Man's Show in April?
I haven't scheduled. So I'm going to be there at Track Shot Live, so I haven't scheduled. I'll be there.
Cool.
I'm an ancillary character on Track Shot Live this season, so I'm trying to get as many shows in as I can.
There's your answer, Nick Rose. You got a chance at setting that up. So Nick Rose will be looking for you down there in Maryland.
I think I'm painting 2 cars for Sean Rutherford, maybe Cindy from Boston.
Yeah, Cindy Reginald.
Yeah.
The Black Widow.
Yeah. Yep. So a lot of stuff is by the seat of my pants. I don't have a really good schedule. If it's clear, I go. And so that's how the Florida thing went. I wasn't going on Monday. I wasn't going on Tuesday. I booked the flight to Florida Wednesday morning. I was in Florida Thursday. You know what I mean? It's just life is fun. it's pretty cool. You know, I have to balance it. The wife wants to go on the boat this season, so I can't go every single weekend. I'm going to have to find some weekends to. Someone gave me a boat like 6 years ago, and I haven't used it ever. I just I always go to derbies, and I go to derbies instead of going to the river. So we got to balance that. But we have a lot of great things scheduled for this season. Blizzard Bash scheduled to go with you know, Toast Promotions and Sayopa Racing. You know, then we got Vegas and we got Dead Man again, same weekend. What dilemmas I have.
Yep. You live a hard life, Jason Sauer.
Right? It's a fun life. We're gonna go back to Art Basel again this first weekend of December in Miami. We're taking the art car down there, and we're hoping we make a car that we can take to parades and museums. So I'm making a permanent derby car piece with that 73 Buick of mine that I put the exhaust out the hood. I kind of joined a sticker gang around. It's a worldwide thing. It's graffiti stickers. They're called slaps.
Yep.
And you know, the sticker thing I've been doing lately. So the last car that came from LA, we had like 100+ artists put their sticker on there, and the last one that we made in Miami had 700 artists.
Oh my God!
So we turned that car into a sculpture, so you get to see that at Smith Metal Works. But the goal is we go down to Miami this year, we make a stickered up car, and then my goal is to take it to Houston to the art car parade, which has about 300,000 to 400,000 viewers. People go to the parade. It's a pretty big deal. Because 2023, I have Texas on the brain. 2022, I'm going to Puyallup Fair there, south of Seattle, Washington, in April to run a Diplomat. So I have cross-country tour planned for the next 3 years, and so you're gonna see me in places, you know, you don't normally see. So I don't know how much you watch Northwest Demolition Derby, but
Kitsap, right? That's out in Washington, Kitsap, right? Paul Twitt.
Yeah, we've talked to him, haven't we?
We've talked to, I think we talked to Joey Foster about Paul Twitt. Yep. But I mean, I don't know if the Seattle Derby is tied up with that,
Same
but that's
one,
the name that stands out to me. They run some Mopar stuff up there.
A lot of Mopars, yeah. So, Jason, you and Todd get any more music videos coming up? I mean, you guys are music video stars. I just wondered if you had anything else on the horizon there.
Well, our man Dave, who shoots music videos, he's always got us on his mind. Right now, Dave is enjoying the success of producing the Public Enemy song for Coming to America 2 movie. So on the soundtrack, when you hear the Public Enemy song, the guy that put Todd and I on to Public Enemy, his name is David Snyder. He is a producer, rapper, filmmaker. He does everything he can for Public Enemy. And right now, he's enjoying the successes that he has with that movie soundtrack he just did. So we have more stuff with David coming up. We're not sure how that's going to play out, but we have a few local musicians doing some rap videos, and Todd and I are going to be a part of those as we try to, I don't know, Todd and I like to interject ourselves into the local hip-hop scene in Pittsburgh. Two old guys, and they let us participate. We bring our derby cars, and it ends up being a pretty wild scene.
Awesome.
So,
Todd and Jason in the hood, man. They're showing what's up.
Buying their tracksuits.
Well, if you were nervous about how I got tracksuits, you would probably be even more nervous if I told you the actual. I show up pretty lonely. I'm the only guy there looking like I do, and it can be a little intimidating, but I win them over. They're just intimidated because I don't have a neck. They think I'm here to fight or something. I don't know. So I'm like, no. I'm here to participate, watch people dance on the cars. Like, what do you want? When we start it, like, let's have a good time. So it ends up being pretty cool. I got to park the truck and trailer on a basketball court where, you really have to know somebody to be able to get your truck and trailer across the lawn into this basketball court to shoot a music video. That's about as far as I can go with that story. But my man Todd, I set him up and he knocks him down. The man's a great actor. He has such a good time with being on camera with me, and we just do this thing. We love our TikToks. Like Todd and I love to do our videos. I just put a video of him signing Iron City Promotion coloring books. I just put that on their Iron City Promotions page about an hour ago. So you can see Todd signing books for the kids. But Todd's such a brilliant actor, he knows how to ad-lib. So there's an ad-lib in that video, and if you find it, you're welcome to message me and see if you caught it, and let Todd know that he did a good job.
Todd's got a pretty soft spot for kids, so I can imagine he enjoys that.
Yeah, he enjoyed passing out the coloring books to all the Power Wheels participants there in Florida. I can't say enough about the Siopas. They're good fellas. They they built some tough cars, and they breathe and love Demolition Derby right from first breath they take in the morning.
Yeah.
We do too.
My son and I went to the Iron City Nationals last fall, and met Steve, met Mark. Not Matt, but introduced Zach to Mark and Steve, and I said, Todd's got to be around here somewhere, and he was. Todd was on the four-wheeler taking care of some stuff, and he started to drive by us. I'm like, Todd, he jumped right off, and, he knew Zach by name and gave him a hug and said, hey, man, I like hearing about your football stuff, and really cool. They're great guys. They're definitely an asset to the sport, and, they've definitely helped it grow and continue to help it grow. So it's great to have guys like that involved.
It is, and they travel.
Oh, yeah.
We all travel. We travel well with them. Smith Metal Works. We go the long distance for the Demolition Derby to create some stuff. Speaking of Smith Metal Works, if you haven't heard, they have a Demolition Derby camp for youth. On Thursday, we go up and look at some of the cottages that they had built and help get those online for Derby camp. You can take your kid for 3 to 4 days, something like that. And you're in the Smith Metal Works shop, you're on the compound with the track they made, and you're going to have a lot of seat time preparing for a Demolition Derby. And I think what they're doing is fantastic. And I know Will Steinbach, Tix, Skinny, they each have their own youth programs out there, Track Strong being one of them. So the Derby guys recognize that there's a need to promote the sport, encourage the youth, because this is a sport you can do to whoever knows how old. I just turned 46 yesterday, so maybe one day I'll be as old as Todd, still derbying.
Awesome.
Burn.
Well, it is, Jason, as always, it is always fun to catch up with you. Always entertaining to talk with you for a while. We're getting a little bit low on time. Is there anything else that we wanted to hit on, or anything else that you wanted to make mention of before we got to get out of here?
I need to sell merchandise. Help me out. So I got new shirts, the new hoodies. They get dropped right here. Is this your first T-shirt drop? No.
Sure. It is your first T-shirt drop, which is even more important.
Yes. This is my first T-shirt drop on Crash Course. They're limited supply. I'm very excited. I could have dropped it at Florida, but I waited for you.
Thank you.
I want this to be important. So, big release, art opening, Smith Metal Works. Hit me up. I got colored books for $8 a piece. I got these cool cups that people have been buying. Thank you, Uncle Nick King, for setting that up for me. He has sold so many cups. It's awesome. Thank you guys for letting me do this. Let me make this part of the artwork. Let me tell my story. You guys are cool. And so thank you again for all the years you have put into this. You have put in countless years. I think you're on show, 1,500 now. It's just amazing that you're not a quitter. And I appreciate it.
Jason, man, always good to catch up with you. Thank you. Look up Jason Sauer on Facebook. Look up Most Wanted Fine Arts.
we missed the double bicep.
There it is.
Most Wanted Fine Arts. Look them up on Facebook. Throw them into Google. You can follow
Oh,
them
now
on
we're
the
getting
show.
tags. Yeah, baby.
All right.
Jason, one more thing. I think
I'm ready.
Flame.
Where's the reality show? They told me they were coming. I'm ready. Let's
Hey.
smash something. Let's go and smash it again.
I think you should consider some flames on the skull, man. I think that would look good for you. I think you should consider it.
Here in the bald spot?
Yeah, a little flameage. I think it'd look good, man.
Be very Bam Bam Bigelow.
I do have some ideas, Sort of,
Awesome.
We're getting there. We're getting there. But this is how I get on the reality TV shows. Is I take my shirt off and spike it during auditions. So
Okay.
I'm auditioning.
And now we know.
Now we know.
Now we know the secret.
Right?
Jason Sauer, ladies and gentlemen. Jason, the incomparable Jason. What more can we say?
Buy my track shoots. They're illegal.
Perfect. All right, so we let's make sure we get we jump through all this stuff in the right order. Bash for Cash is coming up here. Looking forward to that. Kicker class, turn back the clock class, compacts, and pro stocks all paying $10,000 to win. $2,000 to win in each of the support classes as well. Frank the Tank, old school wire class, youth small cars, street stocks, the relic class, 1963 and older, the 3 one and dones, the 80s wire class, the super stocks, full size trucks, and compact trucks. It is a mouthful to go through all that stuff. The schedule as it is going to be check-in day Thursday, Friday the 28th, 7 o'clock start time. Compact heats, $2,000 to win. The youth class is on deck that night. Mini trucks and the $10,000 to win. Street stocks, full-size trucks also. We come back Saturday with Power Wheels at 3. 4 o'clock start for the compact consi, the pro stocks, the kicker cars, relic class, and Frank the Tank class. The headline on Saturday the 29th. On the 30th at 11, pro stock kicker and turn back the clock consolation rounds. Smith Metal Works Youth full size at 1 o'clock. Modified 80s wire heats and the super stocks. Remember, there's 3 80s wire heats and all the remaining features at 4:15. May 28th to 30th, 2021, Chillicothe, Ohio, Ross County Fairgrounds. Online, smashitderby.com. No Mercy is creeping up on us, a little over a month away. The second event for Dead Man Derby. Dead Man Derby is online, deadmanderby.com. Friday is the 3-man compact heats, the 80s pro stock heats, and the half-ton trucks and SUVs. Saturday has the last chance events, and then it runs through a bunch of one-and-dones and the rest of the features. Youth compact division, $800 to win. Imperials, $2,000 to win. The minivan, mini truck, and mini SUV event, paying $1,200 to win. Full-size team, one and done. The Dead Man compacts, the 70s and 80s pro stocks are out there too. The 3-man compact team features paying $6,000 to win. Full-size mercenaries and the one and done, that is paying $3,000 to win as well. Smash It. We should have jumped to this one before. Smash It follows up Bash for Cash with Street Stock Madness at the Fayette County Fairgrounds in Washington Courthouse, Ohio. June the 5th, gates open at noon. The Derby's at 6. June the 6th, Derby is at 3. Gates open at noon that day as well. 4-man teams, taking 20 teams, 6,000, 3,000 to 1,600 through the top 3. The Pro Stock's taking 40 entries, 4,000, 2,000, 1,000 payback through that. Full-size Street Stock, compact Street Stock, minivan, mini truck, mini SUV also on the card. 30 entries each, 1,000 to win for each of those classes. For additional details, jump online on smashitderby.com. The Unified Point Series is going to be over there with Jason Sauer and the rest of the guys at the at the Smith Metal Works Expo. There's some of the gear that you can see. Jason's going to be over there at Smith Metal Works. Unified Point Series is going to be in person. You can check up with them online, 527unifiedseries.com. June the 30th was the start of the season this year. Wicked Derby's Redneck Rumble in Sturgis. And then April 17th is the next one, coming up a little under a month away. Toast Granite City Show in Sauk Rapids, Minnesota. April 24th and 26th, the Spring Explosion, hosted by Derby Icons in Portland, Indiana. April 30th and May 1st is Wicked's Urban Destruction in Evansville. The 7th and 8th is Toast River City Rampage in Henry, Illinois. May the 15th is the start of the Hardcore season. Hardcore's May Meltdown in Stoneboro. Then Smash It's Bash for Cash and the Street Stock Madness events back-to-back. Hardcore's event June the 12th is the Destruction on the Knob kickoff for 2021. Then Toast Bartholomew County Fair in Columbus, Indiana, and Rouse Promotions June the 26th in Portland, Indiana.
that is the first half of the schedule. We'll be following along with that with points and updates and things of that nature as we get a little bit closer. The virtual Unified Point Series getting ready to kick off as well, April 17th. The schedule is just as packed for the virtual version as well. Hardcore Tour, stay up to date online with Frankie Guy's Hardcore Tour. He's been tuning in tonight. He's also going to be doing the trackside officiating for Alliance's virtual 5-on-5 16-team derby coming up next weekend. Frankie Guy is going to be virtually trackside running the stopwatch for James Logston, Roger McClaskey over there at Alliance Motorsports, which is very cool. Hardcore Tour is going to start, as we said, with May Meltdown in Stoneboro, and then moving into Destruction on the Knob in Mark Leesburg on the 12th of June. 26th is Mayhem on the Mountain in Farmington, PA. Destruction on the Knob is back on July the 10th, part of 3 derbies that month. King of the Hill at the Jacktown Fair is the 24th, and the 29th kicks off the 3-day Destruction in Dunbar event in Dunbar, Pennsylvania. Chaos and Coal Country is on the 13th. That's the Greene County Fair in Waynesburg. August 14th and 20th is Washington War Zone in Washington, PA. Then we're back at Stoneboro, September 4th and 5th for Labor Day Lockdown. The Route 40 Rumble is the 7th and 8th. That is a tough stretch right there, 4th, 5th, 7th, and 8th in West Alex. The show, the season all drives towards the 2021 Hardcore Championships at the final confrontation in Dunbar, $3,000 Jeffrey's Fab Farm Mad Dog Award, and then September 25th and 26th, $10,000 to win final confrontation. It is going to be something. Let's see. We didn't get to these guys yet. Jeffy's Fab Farm, online, jeffysfabfarm.com. He's got one hand welding on one thing and the other one welding on the other, and he's not missing a beat. Jeffy's Fab Farm is recognized as an industry leader in all manner of purpose-built demolition derby parts, starting with rear ends in 06. Jeffy's Fab Farm expanded to headers in 08, and the shop can boast a combined 70-plus years of mechanical skill. Jeffy's Fab Farm specializes in the LS conversions and conversion components and can boast consistent feature wins across North America. Your turnkey solution is only a phone call away. Jeffy's Fab Farm Camarina Box campaign sets you up for success with a retail price of $525, and you need to ask about the multi-fit shifter options. You can also find fuel and air parts, suspension and transmission items, steering components, pedal switches, and gauges. If you need it, you can find it on the farm, jeffhughesfabfarm.com. And this is the last one. It is the last one. Hoo-wee. Smith Metal Works is hosting their first Demolition Derby Expo, April 10th in Mercer, Pennsylvania. Seminars are going to include rear end and transmission talks by Jeffy's Fab Farm, throttle and carb performance discussions led by Jason Koch, winning engines led by Brent Johnson of Redline, Watts Link installation by Toast, and more. The vendors list is available online at smithmetalworks.info. Various promotions will be on hand as well, including Smash It, Iron City, and Hardcore, Toast, Spinning Wheel, Stern Dirt, Kings of Old School, Deadman, and Derby Dog. Doors are going to be open from 9 to 6 online, smithmetalworks.info. You can also see the one and only Jason Sauer down there at Smith Metal Works Expo. We have covered just about everything that we needed to cover except for Martin Gully's 11th birthday is today. Happy birthday to Martin. Absolutely. And what a blessing it is to say that sentence. So everybody take a few minutes and wish Martin a happy birthday. That is really, really cool that the Gullys have been able to enjoy that, because I tell you, there's been a couple times where it didn't look very good, and
no, for sure.
and with every day being a blessing, this is a pretty good one for those guys and that whole Spinning Wheels family.
Yes, for sure. They, Jody and Jeremy have been through, and their whole family have been through a lot, and like they say, every day is a memory and every day special. So happy birthday to Martin, the whole crew. If you've never been around Mart much, he obviously has some bad stuff going on, but every now and then you still see that smile, and it just lights you up, and it touches your heart. So hopefully we can continue to see those smiles, and happy birthday to him.
Martin shares a birthday with Scott Kiefer, or Scott Kiefer shares a birthday with Martin, one or the other. But I mean, I don't think we're
Scott had it first.
But I think Martin's birthday is way cooler. We are really lucky that Scott's still with us too.
Yeah,
we can't overlook the fact that there's
Scott had an angel on his shoulder that night,
and a Cordoba, So, Jason, man, once again, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us for a little while.
And pimp one more thing.
Are you selling knockoff coolers too?
No, they're the real thing.
I got a real cooler we're giving away on the Yacht Jag Up podcast that we're doing live at Smith Metal Works Derby Expo.
Yeah.
Track Show Live has sponsored this cooler that holds a box of beer if you're from Minnesota. It's a 30-pack if you're from Pennsylvania. We're giving it away. I'll have it spray painted with my new Most Wanted Fine Art spray paints that I get there at Paint Masters Plus. So the expo is going to be one heck of an awesome event that you're not going to want to miss. If you get a chance to go to Pennsylvania, we have people flying in from California all over the country coming to this Derby Expo. It's a pretty big, fancy deal. I got my mom running the table. But y'all, someone gets to win this thing. I'm going to have it spray painted all up, and it's going to be looking like real graffiti. It's a really glue cooler. And I love you guys. Thank you for letting me do this.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it. That is going to do it for us here on episode number 348. We appreciate everybody hanging out here for a little while. We will see you all again next Monday. Get out there and enjoy the weather. Happy birthday to Martin. Thanks a lot for everything. I can't say it enough. We'll see you then.
Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of May Mania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.